seat, and we're about ready to get started. We'd like to welcome everybody here to Lamar University campus today. This is a very special and a very exciting day on the Lamar University campus, and we're going to find out more about that here in just a moment. Just a couple of rules real quick. We have several speakers that are going to be speaking today. After they get done speaking, at the end of the press conference, we will have a question and answer time, and then after that, we will have a one-on-one session for our media so they can do any individuals any individual interviews that they would like to do. And without any further ado, I'd like to bring up our first speaker, and it's somebody that really doesn't need much of an introduction. It's somebody who, if you spend any time with him, you know just how much he loves Lamar University. He's not only a strong supporter of LU athletics, but Lamar University as a whole. He's our 16th president, Dr. Jaime Taylor.
Thank you so much, James. First, I want to welcome everybody here today at Lamar University. Appreciate all y'all coming out. Appreciate the press coming out. And also want to recognize and welcome Texas State University System Board of Regent, Bill Scott. Bill, if you'd. Yeah. Thank you very much for the trip. So right now you're probably wondering, what's this all about? Why are we here? Well, today, Lamar University is coming home to the Southland. I'm going to have a lot more to say about that here shortly, and why we're making the move, and why I'm so excited about it. But first, there's going to be several other speakers that are going to come up. I asked if I could speak last, because I'm going to clear the bases when I get up.
Basically, most baseball teams need a leadoff hitter and a cleanup hitter. Dr. Taylor's going to serve us both today. He's that talented. Our next speaker is a former student athlete, and he was the true definition of a student athlete. He excelled on the athletic field, and he excelled in the classroom. He comes to the Southland Conference after a successful tenure with the Pac-12. During that time, he oversaw 57 national championships. He's our brand new Southland Conference Commissioner, Chris Grant.
President Taylor, Dixie, thank you. I appreciate that. What a day. Thank you all for being here. First off, welcome home, Cardinal Nation. It's exciting. It's a great day because we welcome home one of our founding members. You know, back when this conference established, Lamar won the first basketball competition, first football championship. In 1963, a lot of decisions were made right here on this campus. And so we couldn't be more ecstatic as a staff, as a community, and as far as here in Beaumont, but most importantly, as our members currently in the Southland Conference, that it only preaches to our stability as a league and charting our course moving forward. You know, no longer are we accepting, you know, the change, and we want to be in the forefront of that and make a bold appearance and move us forward. And I think from this move today and the landscape of college athletics moving rapidly, it's our nature to push this and push the envelope a little more and be bold about what we're doing and be confident as a membership as we move this forward. In some ways, you know, our coaches and our member school, in the same ways they challenge their student athletes to be, you know, react and kind of be responsive. We want to continue moving this league forward. And today, this move makes that as the conference alignment is swirling around us. But as a Southland Conference, the chaos is an opportunity that we're looking to be a part of and looking to be a leader as we take this to the next step. This conference spans a region not known for stellar student athletes, but great cuisine. Now, I was told, as I travel coming from the West Coast, where there's more vegan and everything else, that we have to drop that attitude. So all the Texas barbecue, the Louisiana Cajun, hey, I'm here for it. But 5 years from now, please hold me accountable for looking the same as I do today. But to say the least, our region also produces not only great student athletes, but the academics is not, you know, expanded upon enough. You know, what Dr. Taylor, Dr. Burkell, a lot of our member institutions are currently celebrating in their programming. We want to continue amplifying those efforts from the conference level. And then take that and amplify the efforts of our student athletes as they're competing for NCAA national championships, for conference championships, and most importantly, winning the rivalries right here in this footprint. So we'll continue to remain nimble, and I will say our priorities will be, we'll continue to put student athletes first. We'll be unified in our purpose. And last but not least, we'll continue to push those boundaries as we strive for every advantage to push this league forward. So to the Cardinals, welcome home and look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Our next speaker is very well known to most of you in this community, a former president of Lamar University whose career spanned nearly 5 decades with Lamar University. During that time, he was also affiliated with the Southland Conference. He's a member of the Southland Conference Hall of Honor, and he was very instrumental in helping bring Cardinal football back to the Golden Triangle. This time I'd like to bring up Dr. Jimmy Simmons.
Thank you. Welcome, Commissioner. Welcome to our conference. You know, I spent more than 50 years here at this university, and you have to realize I came as a director of athletic bands. So I've probably watched more athletic events as athletic band director and as president than anybody in this room. Maybe somebody's watched more, but I've seen a lot of events. And I'll tell you, most of our... Who? Oh, I'm sorry. yeah. And you know, he'll never tell us who he is either, or who she is, yeah. Most of our greatest athletes, our greatest teams, our greatest rivalries, and our greatest successes have been in the Southland Conference. Our roots are just absolutely intertwined with those in our conference and have been throughout the history of this university. I want to mention a few coaches, and I'm going to leave some out. I'm sorry about that, but as I think back on my history here, the first several that come to mind are Coach Hilly, Coach Higgins, Bellmead Home, Pat Parks, Billy Tubbs, Sweet 16, Pat Foster, Mike Dean. And I remember Mike Dean, we were sitting in a room and all the players were hollering, "We want Duke, we want Duke." We got him. Yeah. Larry Tidwell, Brad McBacon and Brian White, number 3 in the nation. Kent Kennan beat Baylor. Ray Woodard brings back football here. Barbie, sweet, what was it, the Elite 8 in women's basketball. Jim Gilligan, gosh, I can't even think of all the conference championships you've won. Coach Jolly has won more than 30 conference championships. I remember Sonny told me one day that he thinks he's won more conference championships than any of our football coaches have won games. That was tough, yeah. But you know, they all earned their stripes here at this university as coaches, and so many wonderful student athletes have gone through these programs and graduated. This is our conference home. This is where we should be. Dr. Taylor, thank you so much for your leadership and your decisive decision to return to the Southland Conference. It's going to benefit our students, our university, and our community. And at this time, I would like to present you a little gift. It's a collection of Southland Conference championship rings. And I fully know that you will continue to add to this collection. These are all Southland Conference. Thank you.
Emeritus President Jimmy Simmons, I promise these will be displayed proudly here at Lamar University. And thank you so much for coming back for this great event. Thank you.
Rivalries never die. With that being said, this is a special occasion and a tremendous day at Lamar University, but for more reasons than what you've already heard. Today marks the first time in Lamar University history that a member of the Lamar University Athletics Department is going to proudly introduce a member from McNeese State a 1980 Southland Defensive Player of the Year and the 7th president of McNeese State, Dr. Darryl Burkell.
Well, who would have thunk it? A guy from McNeese is having a press conference at Lamar. Well, this is a great day for McNeese because welcoming Lamar back into the conference, our natural rival, our Sabine River foe, that this is really good for the conference. This is good for us. We know it's good for you. We couldn't not be more excited about having you back. From all the rivalries I know that I've played in with Lamar, that I've seen the Lamar teams and the history that you have in this athletic department, it brings back a real sense of stability to the Southland Conference, but also a lot of pride about what you bring to us. And having you back here is very important. And I want to commend Dr. Taylor because making these decisions are not easy. And it takes a lot of courage and it takes great leadership. And, you know, we're in a period of really a paradigm shift, both in academics, in higher education, but also the chaos that is going on inside the NCAA, and things move quickly, and we make decisions. And, you know, at the end of the day, we want to make the best decision to put our schools in the best position possible where they can compete and where we can expand our brand with our institutions. So we're excited about the future of the Southland Conference. We're excited about the leadership and vision of our new commissioner. But more than anything, it's great to have someone back that you hate each and every day to play. But to have that rivalry is really good. So with that, thank you, Lamar. Thank you for making this decision, for making the Southland strong again, for giving us great stability, but also welcome back. And we love to hate you. Thank you.
We have one more speaker today, but what you've seen so far is individuals coming up here who have a strong vision for the future, not only for their individual institutions, but for the Southland Conference as a whole. I'm very proud to bring up our president back up here, an individual who has a very bold vision for Lamar University, and to go along with that, a bold vision joined with the Southland Conference for the Southland Conference, our cleanup hitter, Dr. Jaime Taylor.
Thank you so much. I'm still new to Lamar University. I haven't been here a full year, but I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the history that Lamar has with the Southland. And I can't tell you, when I look at all those championships, there's so much rich history here. Before I say my closing remarks, I want to thank all the individuals that came out today to support us. Commissioner Grant, third day on the job. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do next week for us. President Burkell, thank you for making the trip over, and I'm hoping that I grow to appreciate and hate McNeese as much as you hate Lamar. And I want to thank the athletic director from Houston Baptist University for being here, Steve Maniaci, and also, if you stand up for a minute, just make sure everybody sees you. Really appreciate the support from the Southland schools, and also the AD from McNeese, Heath Schroyer. The reason that this move is so important, you've heard a lot about all of it already, but this is about, when you think about the college experience, I think about tradition. You know, things that you can look back on, you can talk to the alumni, hear the stories of what they went through. And I've only been here 8 months, but I've heard so much about the rivalries in the Southland and how people were already missing that. They're like, we just don't see that anymore. And we aren't sure when we go out to these athletic events, you know, we're playing these teams we don't really know anything about. And so there's that tradition that's very important, but also the geography. Take a look at the map over here. And what I want to say is this is a very key point right here. The furthest school in the Southland is closer than the second closest school in the WAC. So let me say that one more time. The second closest school in the WAC, if you take that second closest school, the furthest Southland school is closer. So we have an opportunity now, and if you look at the map, Lamar University is dead center in the Southland. we actually, I mean, it just screams that we belong there. Those two things together bring to me what constitutes the college experience. Obviously, I'm a physicist, a mathematician. I'm from the liberal arts. I believe strongly in academics. But part of that academic thing is that out-of-classroom experience that goes along with athletics. And that's what I want to see happening here at Lamar. I want to see us not only have great rivalries at home, but I want to see the alums, the students, the student athletes having that opportunity to go visit other schools, bringing some buses over there. So we have this great event even at the other universities. So in my mind, this was just like an obvious choice for Lamar University, and I cannot thank the Southland enough for inviting us and welcoming us with open arms back to the Southland. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to open it up for one-on-one questions. If anybody has any questions, I'd also like to bring Chris and Dr. Taylor back up here as well. In case you have one-on-one questions, you can be in front of the mic. So if you have any questions.
I do.
Doctor, if you want to come up.
You know, Dr. Taylor, a lot of excitement and anxious going back into the Southland Conference. A twofold question for you. What's it going to take to get out of the WAC? Is there anything to get out of the WAC? And when will Southland Conference play begin?
But basically, right now, to get out of the WAC, we've already submitted our statement that we'll be leaving. We had to get that in before July 1st. And basically, with that, we will then have to play out one more year, and we'll be able to join the Southland Conference at July 1st, 2023. And, yeah.
The buyout last time for the Southland was $300,000. Does any of that come back, and what is the buyout of the WAC?
Yeah. Okay.
Getting detailed on it here. Well, yes, you know, we're committed, understanding the Lamar situation is unique, right? We never faced this before as a conference, so we're committed to making Lamar whole in that situation, knowing the exit fee was just a year ago. And so part of that, as you look at the withdrawal fees for the WAC, we'll make a commitment to, basically make sure Lamar is not in the hole coming into the situation, but is, coming into a situation on an even playing field as the rest of our members.
Are there any other questions?
What was this idea start turning into your head, Dr. Taylor?
So, I mean, in general, when I first got here, I've been at all the basketball games, football games, and I kept hearing about the rivalries. And obviously, I didn't want to have open discussions, but as a new president, I listened a lot. And I could sense that the alumni really was missing the idea of being in the Southland. More recently, I started hearing rumors that the Southland wanted us back. I wanted to be very careful. I didn't want to go out and talk to anybody in the Southland because once you start that conversation, as many of you have seen, I started the conversation about a week and a half ago, and it already made it out to social media last night. These things happen fast. And the advice I was given is if you start that discussion, you better be decisive in making a decision, yes or no, fast, and then moving forward with that. And so last week, I contacted the commissioner of the WAC saying that I was going to reach out to the Southland and ask, I just wanted to learn, I heard the rumors, I want to know if it was true and what the intent was. And we talked last week we were on the phone a lot. I was on the phone with other people from the Southland. We made that decision quick and moved forward, and I could not be happier that we were able to pull it off that quick. Wish we had done it one day earlier so it wouldn't have leaked so quick, but it's amazing how fast things get in social media.
Any more questions?
For the commissioner?
Yes.
With UIW leaving the conference, Lamar is now joining. Commerce is in a transition period. Is the Southland looking to expand anymore?
We are definitely looking to expand. We'll be aggressive, continue to be aggressive in concentrate alignment, but also we made a commitment as a group and our board of directors, our athletic directors, to create the best student-athlete experience possible. So that means we're not looking to put student-athletes going far and beyond our Texas and Louisiana borders. So we're looking at membership, we're looking at like-minded institutions when it comes to the academic profile as well as the athletic profile. So we want to make sure they're adding on to our value and that our schools add value to those institutions and the communities as well. So we'll continue going about it the right way. And hey, look, stay tuned to what's next.
I guess a follow-up to Jaime's question, Commissioner. Geographically, if you're looking for new members, are you looking obviously for people in this region?
We are. Yeah, you look at our footprint. It's a gas tank conference. As I talked to the Lamar coaches earlier today, we want to maintain those recruiting relationships and make sure, hey, they're student athletes when they're coming off and they're trusting you and you're in their living room, that, hey, you can see your kid play any day of the week because you can go and come back on one gas tank as much as possible. So we want to continue preaching that, setting our student athletes up for success in the classroom by saying and not missing class time, being on 2-day, 3-day road trips, but at the same time creating the best fan experience and alumni experience possible and taking advantage of this resilient and stable Gulf Coast region.
I'd like to add to that because that was something that was very important to me was the student-athlete experience from the academic side. And a lot of these trips, if they have to take a plane, it takes 1 day to get there, 1 day to play, and another day to get back. You miss 3 days of classes, that's a pretty big deal for a student athlete. And they already have enough struggle with all their practices. And so that did absolutely weigh in that decision.
For the president. A year ago when we were in Houston, the line was, you obviously weren't there, so the line was convincing that the Lamar alumni that the move to the WAC was the best move for the university. What changed the less than a year later?
So as they've mentioned on numerous occasions, things are nationally very dynamic in the athletic realm. And so 2 schools have moved out of the WAC. Sam Houston University has moved on. New Mexico has moved on. And trying to look at that stability, what makes a conference stable? And when, I'm a new president, I don't know how the decisions made in the past, but looking at the Southland, again, I look at that rich history tradition, the commonalities of the universities that are in the Southland, the geographical commonalities, and to me, that just looks much more like a much more stable environment to me.
Any further questions?
Can you update us on the athletic director position?
So the athletic director position, we have I actually have the chair of the committee right back here in the back. Sorry, Dean Spina, but and we will be having the first meeting within. Is that next week? Yeah. So that'll be the kickoff, and we're going to we're moving as rapidly as possible to get that position filled. I think it's very important that we can try to get somebody in June, if no later than mid-June.
If there are no further questions at this time, what we're going to do, if I don't knock over the balloons, is we're going to open it up for one-on-one interviews with the media. So we're going to just give me a chance to get the individuals that you'd like to you, and we'll open that up now. My suggestion to the camera folks is probably to move out into the open lobby area to grant yourself a little bit more space to do those interviews. And at this time, we'd like to thank everybody for coming and sharing this moment with us.